Guys, it's the end of the year. Madness 80 here. Happy to talk toys. And that's what we're going to do. I don't necessarily ever do a top 10. I like to just talk about my favorite figures of the year. Usually a group shot like this can be found on my Instagram, but this is the first time I'm going to do a video. So, lots of representation here. Mezco, NECA, Hasbro, Mattel, Bandai, Nintendo, not to be confused with Jack Specific, covering some Nintendo stuff, Mayfix, Storm Collectibles, 1000 Toys, Jazzwares, did I say Jazzwares already? Anyway, you'll notice no Marvel Legends, no Star Wars Black Series, just everything else. Again, lots of favorites here. What a good year. What a good year. What a good time to be a collector, man. This decade definitely changed the game in terms of toys. I mean, Hasbro became a different beast. And then Mezco itself. I've been collecting Mezco toys for a while. I have the original Popeye line. I can't think of anything earlier. Mezits for a while when those came out. And Gomez himself, new to a lot of people, has had a figure before, pre-112 collective. Pink Skull Chaos Club, and then Hasbro acquiring the Power Rangers license. Just so much to talk about, so many cool toys. Let's take a closer look. Not going to go too in depth, going to touch and go. And so although I'm not doing a top 10, top 20 even, given how many figures are here, I do have a favorite figure, of the year. So let's dive in. And thank you for watching, subscribe, all that stuff. All right, although this is a simple repaint, I love this Optimus Prime figure. I love the Siege line. I don't really talk about it or post about it on Instagram or even YouTube, but look at this. I always say a little bit of paint can go a long way, and it does here. I've only picked up Optimus. I haven't picked up the Megatron version, which I plan to do soon. I don't want them to disappear. Man, if they redid all the Siege line like this, I would probably be foolish enough to buy them all over again. But hopefully this is a sign of things to come, because this is fantastic. Although I believe the original release of this figure was last year, 2018. I could be wrong, let me know. This guy is a 2019 release, a Walmart exclusive. Same transforming configuration as the original release, but man, look at that. These colors pop, especially under this light right now. Gorgeous figure, gorgeous line. One that did come out in 2019, Ratchet, who I love. I still have this on just to keep it kind of more flushed, but this was a Walgreens exclusive and not hard to find either. Readily available online. Readily available in stores. At least that was my experience. Much easier to find than, say, the Marvel Legend Danny Moonstar, Mystique, or even the Black Ranger with the Dragon Shield. But awesome. So in the time I recorded that intro, no, Ludwig. In the time I recorded that intro, I did pick up, and this was, if Optimus was a release last year, so was Ultra Magnus. I found him on the shelves, at least in my area, Southern California. I have not seen this guy. Easily available online, though. It's not like he really went away. But, Target's having to spend over $50, get $10 off. So I just added a Hot Wheel car and got $10 off this figure. $9 off, I guess, since I got that Hot Wheel for my son. But this line's great. I know people complain about the battle damage. I don't care. It looks fantastic. So yeah, Siege, Cybertron, War for Cybertron. Great games from Activision if you've never played those. Really quick, since this dude didn't want to stay in place. To be fair, I knocked him down. Ludwig von Koopa. So Jack Specific does, I think they're the worldwide rights holder for Nintendo figures. It's why we don't see Funko versions of Nintendo characters. Pokemon notwithstanding, since Pokemon Company handles all their own licensing and stuff like that. But anytime a major character drops, and major is a stretch here, but anytime a character that isn't a Goomba or Mario in a different hat or anything like that, it's a must get, and Ludwig here is no exception. I believe the only other ones we have is Bowser Jr. and Lemmy? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, not much to it, but it gets the job done. The character itself doesn't need much to itself. If you picked up SHF, Mario, Luigi, the tiny Bowser, those, you know, there was barely any improvements over what Jax was doing. So you wanted to save a couple bucks, a standard Jax Mario is just as good. Don't feel like you missed out on those. And those were cheap SHF figures too, cheap as in price. Quality was fine. And their Bowser was tiny. The Jax specific Bowser is much, much better. You could get him now in a 2-pack with Mario at GameStop. Fantastic. Grab them if you haven't. I always say Nintendo drops 1 or 2 must-have amiibos, and being a video game guy, this Link from The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake on the Nintendo Switch is fantastic. Yeah, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't move, no articulation, and maybe too glossy. But look how cute it is. Excellent figure. Other honorable mentions would be probably the Simon Belmont. I think was a fantastic amiibo. Yeah, so, but we just have Link here representing Nintendo amiibo. There's usually an amiibo that makes it into my favorite toys of the years. 1 or 2, and this one definitely takes the cake. Surprise, although not in my display, this one's Sovereign Knight, I believe, Batman, is one of my favorites. I love classic blue and gray Batman, especially the big yellow symbol. This is a must-have. Previews exclusive. If you haven't, don't know where to get them, and if you haven't gotten them, get them. He is, I believe, available for pre-order on Entertainment Earth. Even though he dropped, I don't know, they have maybe more stock coming. Gorgeous figure, though. Look at that. Top to bottom. Cape's great. And he was released a ton of times. We had the glossy black version. We had the standard gray and black version. We have the all solid black version that came with Black Mask, which was a Mezco exclusive. Not necessarily a fan of that set, so didn't pick it up. So we talked resolutions. I'm tired of paying like $100 a figure for like something like SHF or Mafex. Mezco, I feel like, you know, this is quality, man. There's, you know, there's some craftsmanship and tailoring and good stuff going into these figures, okay? You know, I'll pay the 80, 75, 80 bucks, depending on where you buy your figures from. So what I'm getting at is stop paying 100 bucks for figures I don't really feel are worth it, and you don't need to buy every Mezco exclusive. So, you know, missing out on the Black Mask set, even though I know I didn't want that Batman, and I really don't care about Black Mask as a villain, and missing out on Stealth Gomez, it's okay. Missed out on Classic Wonder Woman too, and that was by choice by that point. So I don't, you know, a couple things. I just need more discipline, and I hope you have some discipline too. Buy what you love, don't buy what you feel is okay. But yeah, this Batman, fantastic. Huge gamer, as I mentioned, every 5 minutes in any chance I get. So when game companies use the power of modern day consoles to make cartoony looking games look so beautiful. Same when a toy company who is known for their realism and their adult type of collectibles, when they do a cartoony character and knock it out of the park, chef's kiss right there. NECA Crash Bandicoot figures from last year, amazing. May have killed the line though. Released too many crashes. We may never see Neocortex, we may never see Coco, or maybe they're waiting for a sequel or something we don't know from Activision. Could be a mandate from Activision, but as far as I've heard, those Crash figures did not do as well. We got, in that first year, Crash Bandicoot with Jetpack, Crash Bandicoot with Hoverboard, Crash Bandicoot with Scuba Gear, and then this year, the Ultimate Crash Bandicoot with multiple faces, and is it Aku Aku? Too many. This year, we got this purple guy, Spyro the Dragon. QC issues aside, I believe these back feet are supposed to be in front. A lot of people did the boil and pop method and swapped them. I don't care. This is a gorgeous figure. The paint is gorgeous. The sculpt is gorgeous. Everything about this is gorgeous. Definitely one of my favorite figures of the year, and it pops on the shelf. Brought him home from work. I have a video game shelf at work. You may have seen if you follow my Instagram, and he is there. So he's visiting for the weekend for this video, and we'll go back amongst other video game characters. Fantastic figure for its price. Definitely worth the pickup. Ready Player One, Diva from Figma. So I did a video on her. I'll put a title card here. Fantastic figure, probably my favorite Figma from the Overwatch line so far. There's still a lot more to come. But yeah, not much else to say. This really nailed it. It's obviously better than the Hasbro one that came in the 4-pack. It was worth the price. Again, though, I'm tired of paying for imports. I think they're raising the prices. These aren't so bad. They're like 50, 60 bucks. But, you know, when I can avoid it, I will avoid it. I don't know how I'm going to avoid it if they show me a Soldier 76 done from Figma. And then we got my other boy, McCree, coming out. Some little hair here that does not go away. But yeah, definitely worth the pickup if you have not. I mean, look at how crisp, everything from the sculpt, the different faces, the different hands, the deco, you know, a Diva with mech. God knows what that would cost from Figma, but I'm very happy for this out of mech Diva. Baby Yoda may be all the rage, but Yoda, old Yoda, still has a special place in my heart. This SHF figure from Attack of the Clones, fantastic, man. Lots of accessories, different hands, lightsaber, different legs, you know, here. I popped the bottom off. You're supposed to get his feet, slide in there and pop that out. Too much work. I just want him on the shelf like this, and I do have him on the shelf like this. Of course, he has, you know, other faces. I feel like his hairline is too high. That's really my only complaint. Like, his forehead's too big, but this is awesome. It is too expensive, though. It is an exclusive, I believe. For the size of this figure, it's just, come on, man. I don't know. I don't know what they could do to lower the cost, because it still has all the same engineering, but it has a little more bells and whistles than a standard SHF release. So, I don't know. I say I don't want to pay those prices, and I won't going forward unless there's certain figures that I feel are must-have. But when does an SHF knock stuff out of the park? Oh, you know, it just came to mind. Their Ronin, their Captain America. I mean, Hasbro had them beat. But here, this Yoda, I don't think Hasbro's made a Yoda this good, and probably won't. So definitely worth it if you're a huge Star Wars fan. Speaking of expensive ass toys, the Mayfix Spider-Man. Wow. Even to this day, I can't, you know, when I pick it up, it's really hard to put down. It is one of the best 6-inch scale Spider-Mans to come out. Super expensive, though. Spider-Man is such a special character to me. Definitely my favorite superhero. So, you know, I was going to be a sucker. I did pass on Venom. I don't know if I'm going to pass on Carnage, though. Venom was a little short for my taste. But yeah, I think you could still pick this up. And there's another release coming out, which has kind of comic-ish colors, similar to the redeco of the Optimus Prime we just saw. Maybe not this cartoony, but in that same spirit. Definitely worth a pickup. He may have some tiny feet, some tiny hands when next year Legends, but he fits in well. Definitely one of the better figures of the year. From what is the last DC wave of action figures from Mattel, they finally gave us an Alfred, and I think this is the Alfred to end all Alfreds, because I don't think it's necessary for another company to waste any resources on another Alfred. How much do we need? This does its job. It came with multiple heads, as I mentioned. Maybe I did mention, depending on which edit I use, but, you know, he came with the 1966 Alfred head. He came with the one in the Keaton, Kilmore, and Clooney era of films. And the shapeshifter guy who I don't remember, but this is my go-to head. Nice little bald spot there. For whatever reason, the camera does not want to focus on Alfred. Let's get the light on him more. There we go. But yeah, came with a tray, came with an unmasked Batman mask you can place on there in a little cup. Fantastic figure, man. And for whatever reason, super, you know, this is almost unnecessary, but I love it. This is my go-to Alfred forever and ever. You know, eventually someone will make a better one, but, you know, if Mayfix did one, fuck that. I'm not paying insane amounts for an Alfred. 20 bucks. I would say he is the most sought-after figure in this wave, next to Red Hood. But yeah, great great figure for what it is. 1,000 toys, man. I almost feel this figure came out of nowhere. But it didn't, because they previewed it while they were designing it, even listened to fans and fixing its knees, I believe. But Jesus, this figure is fantastic. And as I mentioned, I collected Mezco before the 112 stuff, and Hellboy was one of the things they did. I have like the full wave of the first movie, but I missed out on their comic versions. This guy, you know, talk about not wanting to spend $100 or more, $80, $90, $100 on a figure. This justifies it. It's big. It has fantastic articulation due to some fantastic engineering. Soft goods, real, you know, little metal pieces. Deluxe version with deluxe parts. And it's just great, man. You know, truth be told, these horns, this sword are casts by Adrian Beltran 777. So there was a deluxe version that came with these horns, the sword. I sprung for the regular version, and it came with his sawed down horns. But look at this, you couldn't tell, man. So check him out for your needs. He's got a great War Machine unmasked head on sale right now, plus previous amazing heads include Beast, Miles Morales Spider-Verse version, Thanos Screaming Weapon X head for the Marvel Legends version of the Weapon X that came out this year. He has a Spider-Man Noir hat. You know, he has just a lot of great things. Check him out. You know, link will be in the description. But 1,000 toys is, and what they've previewed with Abe Sapien and the upcoming Devil May Cry Dante and Nero figures. This is definitely a company on, you know, just keep an eye out. I know a lot of people, I think they do synthetic humans. That doesn't have enough flair or flavor for me to get into. And I believe their engineering and their articulation is highly praised on those. But yeah, look at this. I never did a review on this figure. I just didn't have the time or energy or whatever. But look at it now, man. So good. Definitely worth a pickup. I have no idea if you could find the regular version. The deluxe version, like I mentioned, with the horns and the sword, completely sold out even before its release. So you have this sitting around, you want to add some extra flavor, hit up Beltran. What's up, Gomez? Look at this, Agent Gomez, who started the craze. This figure was almost an introduction to the character for a lot of people. I do believe there was a Gomez action figure prior to the 112 line, released many moons ago. But this one, you know, it started a fire under a lot of collectors' asses. And since then, although this one may not be, in my opinion, the best representation of Gomez, I really love the Samurai one, which admittedly I haven't cracked open yet. After this came the Street Gomez with similar duds to the Pink Skull Chaos Club. And then Agent Gomez, which I believe used a lot of the Netflix Punisher accessories. And then, like we mentioned, the Ronin and Lone Grub, which, you know, had a samurai flair. But yeah, Gomez, hopefully here to stay. I love that you all love this, and that Mezco can, you know, have some success with an original property in a line made popular by Marvel and DC, specifically starting off with, I think, DC. But yeah, you know, I still need to pick up Agent Gomez. No, sorry. This is Agent Gomez. I need to pick up the Stealth Gomez. But yeah, you know, he's a roach. This head looks like an ant, but then he comes with a head that looks like an ant. Multiple heads, great accessories, tons of hands. Awesome. And I love that they're world building with this guy. So never did a review on these, or any Mezco for that matter, but I'm a huge Mezco guy. I've been collecting them since the start. I do have the two Dark Knights. I don't have the black and white one. I have the blue and gray and the gray, black and gray. But yeah, you know, and they're still going for decent prices. You know, Mezco did drop another release because they wanted to get this guy in more people's hands, get the name out there. And they are, and they're world building, as we mentioned. Pink Skull Chaos Club, Rumble Society, all that good stuff. Fantastic, fantastic original character. What is it about Fortnite figures? We know what it is about Fortnite. You know, it's got the kids all in a rage. I myself as a gamer have no desire to play that game or any battle royale. However, as a toy collector, I am not alone when it came to biting on either the McFarlane figures or the Jazzware figures. My favorite McFarlane Fortnite character figure is still Cuddle Team Leader, but Jazzware is out of nowhere with some old Toy Biz guys bringing back finger articulation and toe articulation in domestic releases. Well, maybe not in this figure, but, or maybe not any, I don't know. You know, different faceplates for alternate faces and or expressions. Great character selection. This is just one of many. And like magic, through the magic of editing, a couple of other characters that I enjoyed. You know, you can't give Jazzwares credit. This is all Epic Games, unique character designs, but you can give them credit on some great engineering for the price. These three, you know, I have everybody but the Enforcer, I believe, from the first wave, and wave 2's out now, and with some fantastic characters there, such as Leviathan and Peely, and, you know, I don't want to say Jonesy's so plain, but, you know, what is it about the figures that had collectors buying them, say, over Overwatch? And Overwatch being a video game, not necessarily a battle royale, but a team-based shooter, tactical type shooter. You know, what was it about these figures that people would so blindly, you know, or bought them on a whim, impulse buys, but not the Overwatch figures? I don't know. You know, that's a discussion I like to have in depth with someone. You know, I feel people want to know what's coming next from Jazzwares in regards to Fortnite, and I don't feel anybody's asking Hasbro what's coming next for Overwatch. I want to know what's coming next for Overwatch. Are we even going to get any more Overwatch figures? Are they waiting for Overwatch 2 to drop some new figures? I was at BlizzCon 2019, and there was zero information and zero presence from Hasbro in regards to Overwatch, and that being on the Nerf front and the action figure front. Lego had a presence, and Lego even had a couple of new items to show off, you know? So I'm a little worried for the Overwatch line, but we're talking Jazzwares here. You know, nice to see another company that isn't Mattel or Hasbro come, you know, release these, I mean, true 6-inch. They're smaller in scale next to like a Marvel Legends, who a lot of them tower over 6 inches, but you can world build, you can blend. Yeah, you know, I hope there's a million skins out there in that game. And what I love, what Fortnite does, you should see this. I'm recording this late late December 14th in the AM. You know, it's not even daytime yet. But they're having a Star Wars event, and I think Rey and Finn are in there. Star-Lord's been in the game. Batman's been in the game. You know, those of you action figure photographers can get creative and mix all these dudes up. And, you know, have a shot with Batman in it, have a shot with Rey in it, have a shot, you know, mixing all these guys up because they're just character skins. A lot of fun things there, you know. And they do a lot of innovative stuff in their game. I got to give them props. I'll never play it, but I like that they throw concerts in their games. You know, this year, they started the year off with a Marshmallow concert in-game. Tomorrow's a big Star Wars event where you're going to see a special clip of the Rise of Skywalker in-game, and it's not just them playing a trailer, it's something else. You get a glider that is a TIE Whisperer, or the Whisperer, or something, Kylo Ren's TIE. Yeah, who knows what else you'll get, you know. And they did such a fantastic thing for their second chapter where the game went offline, the world went in a black hole, and people were left unable to play, and everyone was talking about it. And Epic Games, man, kudos to you. From Gears of War to this. Awesome. Awesome figures. This is definitely one of my favorite Mezcos of the year. Blade. There was a Toy Fair version with a bald head, different, all that stuff. But I think their standard release was just as good and just as fantastic. And timed beautifully with the reveal that you know, Mahershala Ali was going to be Blade in the MCU. Man, this figure's great. 2 heads in the standard release, 5 pairs of shades, just because they don't trust us as collectors. They feel we're gonna snap them. There's a magnet here so you can put the sword holster. Jacket comes on and off. Some weapons, guns, muzzle flashes, hands. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Look at this coat, double lined. Fantastic figure, man. The Marvel Legends was a swing and a miss. You know, hopefully they go back, and they probably will when that movie drops a couple years from now, and redo Blade for us. You know, I went ahead and did my own custom Blade. I'll add a picture here. And with Blade here, I don't think Mezco has done a better Marvel character this year. I do really like their SDCC Moon Knight, just not enough to top Blade. And, you know, I can't even think off the top of my head. I got Cyclops, I was a little underwhelmed. I'm hoping Cable's awesome, but I think he's going to be a little too short for what I love. You know, that Marvel Legends Cable from last year is chef's kiss. But, yeah. You know, maybe I should start reviewing Mezco, because sometimes you just got to talk about how much you love something and gush over a product. And this was definitely, when I got it, something I gushed over, something I posed. Yeah, you know, I don't know what to say. Definitely my favorite, one of my favorite Marvel Mezcos. You know, it was hard just to pick 3 to represent the Power Rangers Lightning collection. But I did it. The 2 villains, Lord Zed, Goldar. Oh my God, fantastic, fantastic figures. Goldar's a little bit flimsy or floppy, but the sculpt, so good. He could have been darker in his gold and his face, but what Hasbro has done here, look at the detail on that armor. The best thing that could have happened to this franchise happened, and it was not only did Hasbro get the toy rights, but they now own all the Power Rangers. And it was just announced that they're going to do another Power Rangers movie. Not the one that came out a few years ago that was kind of whack, but a movie about the 90s Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So, Goldar looking fantastic. I love Jason. You know, I was a little too old to be into Power Rangers when they came out. You know, I had little cousins who were into them, and anytime they aired, they had to get their ass kicked afterwards, since they're kicking and punching people they shouldn't be. I just didn't care for it then, but as I got older, I started to appreciate the Mighty Morphin designs, and then started watching it with my son. You know, I'm all in. You know, buying Rangers, I have no clue who they are, you know, Beast Morphers and Dino Charge and all that stuff, but they're so good. Lord Zed here in particular was a fan favorite for everybody. Definitely not, for whatever reason, when Bandai had the rights, they just kept making Rangers and weren't doing any villains, you know. I can't wait to see Hasbro take a stab at Rita, maybe Scorpina. Who's that pig? And even go as far as a Vulcan skull, you know. So, love this Lord Zed figure. Again, this is the best thing to happen to the franchise, you know, giving it to a company who we know would do it justice. So much here, especially if you've played Battle for the Grid. I think that's what it's called, the Power Rangers fighting game. So fun, you know, not necessarily too deep, you know, not a Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat tier type of fighter, but it's fun, and all your favorites are there, and Lord Dracon's there. Nice to see him in 3D instead of on comic book pages. No offense to comic books. But so many good figures, such a good wave. So, I mean, this whole line is these 3 are just representing the whole line for me. You know, I just had to pick 3 for this video. So, although there's some reuse, King Shark legs, I love this Collect and Connect figure. And I always said Mattel has done a fantastic job with their Collect and Connect figures, from the Clayface to King Shark to even way before that, their Ares, their Bane, their Darkseid. Awesome. Awesome. I feel there was more effort in their Collect and Connect figures than their standard releases. And here we got a Killer Croc big Killer Croc, which I think was sorely lacking in a lot of people's collections. A lot of people were using the Arkham Asylum Killer Croc, but being that it was DC Collectibles, it had brittle joints. My arm snapped off. So they used a clear plastic that got brittle quick. And this was when it was new. It didn't, like, years didn't go by and the arm snapped off. But I'm happy to have a giant Killer Croc in my collection with some decent enough articulation, but menacing enough big enough to be menacing for my Batman, you know, characters. It's got an articulated jaw, these awesome giant hands. It is fantastic. I can't say that I'm looking forward to what McFarlane's going to do with the DC license. I feel there's going to be a lot of missteps before we get something that they knock out of the park. It seems like they're just, you know, they keep saying, oh yeah, all our new figures are going to have the articulation at the level of Fortnite, but I haven't seen it. That Doom figure that came out, you know, I love Doom. I love, especially the 2016 Doom, but I didn't buy that figure. Their Mortal Kombat stuff looks okay, and their Borderlands stuff, given that the Tiny Tina fell apart on me multiple times in the camera, it's still a little stiff, and not on the level of Fortnite. And I just seen what NECA did with the SDCC Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern, and those Alien Predator 2-packs, makes me wish NECA got the license. So, prove me wrong, McFarlane Toys. For now, I'm glad I got a somewhat affordable Killer Croc. Affordable in the sense that, you know, it was $20 figures to build this guy, and you needed the whole wave, but, you know, it feels sturdy enough, it feels good. It was definitely worth buying that whole wave for. I like when older dudes kick ass, if that makes sense. Especially if it's a band, you know. You got these rockers that are all old now, since there aren't really any new rockers, still kicking ass today. And Marcus Phoenix being, you know, however old he was in the first 3 Gears of War games, getting this figure, you have a choice. You can use the old Marcus head, the young Marcus Phoenix, or the old one. I prefer the old, grizzled, knows some shit, experience under his belt Marcus Phoenix. Storm Collectibles has captured that attitude here in this figure. NECA did an excellent job with their Gears of War line. A little stiff for my taste, especially with, you know, this decade of toys has brought a ton of advancements in engineering and improvements, and at a cost. But this Storm Collectible, you can find this, you know, people, independent sellers were having this guy for like 40, 50 bucks during Black Friday. And this figure is fantastic, man. Look at the chainsaw gun. This game is gorgeous too. It is one of the best looking Xbox titles, and even more amazing on the PC for you PC Master Race people. Admittedly, I have not beat that game because it came out and then Borderlands came out, and man, I love Borderlands. But this figure, I need to pick up Cole. I need to pick up Kate. So good. Look at it. Storm Collectibles. I feel Marcus is a little more buttoned down. The Street Fighter stuff, the Mortal Kombat stuff, you see more of the joints, and it still has little, you know, squishy parts to it. Looks solid as heck, though. But Storm did a great job. This is a fantastic, fantastic figure. Look at these parts. Awesome. Definitely worth picking up. And I'm sure Coltrane and Kate as well, who just dropped, are worth it. Yeah, I gotta get me a Cole. If I could only choose 3 Overwatch figures to represent how cool this line was, it'd be these 3. And Soldier is just a biased choice because the Zarya figure is cooler than the Soldier figure. As previously mentioned, what the heck is going on with Hasbro's Overwatch line? They didn't necessarily fly off the shelves. That second wave, I felt, was stocked more at GameStop than it was at Target or Walmart, and that's probably because the first wave didn't necessarily fly off the shelves. Golden Soldier 76, I don't even know where the heck his official release was. Was he a Comic-Con exclusive, only available on certain sites? I don't know. I had to get mine on eBay. You know, I believe he was released overseas. Maybe it was a Comic-Con exclusive overseas. I don't know. Zarya standard wave 2 release. The Bundeswehr head was a Comic-Con release. I threw it on this standard release I think that, to be fair, I think the Reinhardt is a fan channel exclusive. Those of you who were lucky enough, there was a sale at GameStop where this guy, I think he's retails for about 50, 60 bucks. People were getting them for like 30, 20 bucks, something like that. I love this game, and I had the pleasure of playing Overwatch 2 at BlizzCon, and I can't wait for Overwatch 2 because to me, Overwatch is about the characters and seeing them here in plastic. Awesome. Check out my Zarya review. You know, everybody here has been reviewed except the Golden Soldier. Regular Soldier has been reviewed as well, but look how great this sculpt is. Bright colors, clean paint apps, clean print. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Again, I don't think people are asking. If you go back and look at people's Comic-Con coverage, how many dudes who had the pleasure of going covered Overwatch? There was an Overwatch presence at Comic-Con, and a lot of the big guys who went and provided Comic-Con footage just kind of skipped over that. I don't know why, but, you know, I can only hope more are coming. I can only hope Hasbro's chilling, waiting for Overwatch 2 or something. We don't even have a release date on that game, though. So I know Power Rangers is taking somewhat of a break. I believe the third wave that came out with Red Ranger, Lord Drakon, Beast Morphers Blue, and Dino Charge Gold is the last wave of this year, and I believe it doesn't pick up again until fall of next year. Maybe they just can't manufacture. Maybe Overwatch will cover the first part of 2020 in their third 6-inch action figure waves. But this Soldier 76 is fantastic. The Scar could have had some little pink spray or something. But look at this head sculpt on Ryan, man. We've done this. We've gushed over this and his size and his heft. But I love me some Overwatch, and I love me some Overwatch figures. Here's hoping for more from Hasbro, because they barely scratched the surface, and there's a ton more on that roster who action figure enthusiasts I feel would appreciate. So I love me some Street Fighter, and if this makes any sense to anyone, just because you appreciate character design and all that stuff, I played 5 for its story, and that's ridiculous because I don't think 5 is a very good game, but you know, they dropped that update with a story, and it wasn't as well executed as the Mortal Kombat games, because I think NetherRealm does a hell of a job with the stories in Mortal Kombat 10, 11, even 9, I believe, had a story mode. But back to Street Fighter, this Sagat figure. Now, this is a character who has looked good in every incarnation of plastic it's been in. Starting from its Resaurus figure, very limited articulation, amazing figure. Soda Toys, I just sold mine off. It was mock, mint on card. Sold that whole collection off. Fantastic figure. Even its Kid Robot Dunny-like character, fantastic looking. And Storm Collectibles 1 is no different. Such a ridiculous presence on your shelf. I mean, look at his height there. The scar, the patch, the attitude in his face. Look at that. Awesome, dude. There was a variant Player 2 colored, which I don't care. I don't get the variant colors. Just give me the standard Player 1 release. Multiple hand. You know how Storm is. And as I mentioned, though, their joints are a little weird. They use this soft plastic. Makes me wonder how this is going to stand the test of time. Is it going to need... Are you going to need to give your figure a bath in 5-10 years because it's going to turn into a sticky type of plastic? I hope not. But usually the chest and the crotch area or the softer type of plastic, and everything else is a decent type. But I don't know. I'm not confident that these figures are going to stand the test of time. Same with Mezco with their pleather and stuff like that. But for now, we can enjoy this figure. Awesome. These guys, this is tough, man. I mean, until laying eyes on NECA's Bebop and Rocksteady at Comic-Con or wherever the hell they were revealed, I didn't know how badly I wanted cartoon accurate Bebop and Rocksteady, you know. I'm so glad NECA is able to get the opportunity to make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys based off of the game, or more importantly, the 80s, 90s cartoon. So good. And the Pink Skull Chaos Club, you know, I definitely didn't know I wanted those figures. They kind of came out of nowhere, and they are fantastic. But spoiling who my favorite figures of the year are, let's talk about Bebop and Rocksteady first. NECA knocked it out of the freaking park with these figures. Cartoon accurate. These lines, these black lines just make them pop. You know, their Ninja Turtle stuff is amazing. Amazing. Not necessarily highly articulated, but their shelf presence is great. You know, articulated jaw. Look at these glasses that come up. I have no idea if his eyes were all solid black like that in the cartoon. I have no memory, rather. Ponytail, you know, what is this? The 4th version of Bebop we've got, and it's the only cartoon accurate one. 1980, whatever, 88, 89 release. I'm sure there was variants of Bebop and Rocksteady then afterwards. Playmates then did Bebop and Rocksteady, like collector's versions, which are cool figures, but they're just not cartoon accurate. 2012 Ninja Turtles and CGI Nickelodeon series had Bebop and Rocksteady, and then even released them with their somewhat original decos, just because they dressed up as them in the cartoon. But now, cartoon accurate Bebop and Rocksteady are in our hands. And boy, when these dropped, and this is only a couple weeks ago, was a frenzy, man. NECA has done a great job on their social media updating the people of when they should expect stock and assuring them that thousands of these have shipped. Be patient. Don't give in to scalpers. Definitely worth the hunt. And I hate hunting for toys. God, they're so good. They are so good. Again, though, not my favorite of the year, but close. Super, super close. Who the F even are these guys? Where did they come from? God, we're getting trailers for action figures now, and they killed it. They freaking sold a lot of us on these characters. Just, you know, world building on that Mezco Gomez brand. We got the Pink Skull Chaos Club figures. We'll take a look at our boy here. To me, this guy's the leader. I don't know if they necessarily have names, but they are fantastic. They have attitude. They remind me of the big boom of vinyl action figures done by various artists, because these feel like more than action figures to me. These feel like an artist, obviously an artist brought these to life, but they just feel like they belong on that detail fill. From the most casual person who doesn't collect action figures will have questions about who these guys are. So good. So good. That trailer is so good. They gave them personality. I personally see them, I'm joking obviously with this cholo type of get up here. I personally see these guys as just like these British punkers, just these blokes that have nothing better to do than to fuck with people's days. I love the Pink Skull Chaos Club. I don't know how, I don't know how they're going to top these guys in terms of villains for Gomez. And they don't even seem like threats to the guy. They just seem like annoyances. It seems like Gomez can hold his own towards these three, against these three rather. Such great figures. People complain, saying they were an easy pass when they dropped. That's the Street Gomez body. Their explanation was when he travels through dimensions, his goo made these skulls, which is why he comes with a skull in every version of himself. Whatever the story may be, I love these guys. And they are definitely my favorite action figures of the year. Again, this wasn't a top or a countdown. Optimus isn't necessarily my least favorite of this bunch. It's just the order I went in, but I did save the best two for last, being Bebop and Rocksteady and the Mezco Pink Skull Chaos Club. If you slept on these, man, they may even be worth the slight aftermarket price. They're not going for too much. People were splitting this wave. Why? Why would you split these guys up? There's three of them. Did you not see the trailer? There's no world building for you. This is Mezco's world, and they say there's 3 of them. So there's 3 of them. Awesome. Awesome figures. Awesome photographs out there from the toy photography community. So good. Thank you guys so much for watching me ramble about toys. It's what I love to do when I'm not playing or talking about video games. Yeah, man. Stick around. I want to do my favorite Legend figures. Same format. I don't like the top 10s because why? This is my list. If I love more than 10, I love more than 10. Same with Star Wars. Fantastic. Fantastic year for action figures. I can't say that word enough. I'm sure I have said it enough in this video. But again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble, talk toys. Let me know what figures of yours. Are there any in this this video that you also own and feel are fantastic additions to your collection? Is there anything that you'd recommend? You know, is there a line of toys that maybe I left out, you feel I have overlooked? Let me know. All that stuff. Let's talk toys, because who knows how long this YouTube thing's gonna last. So please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love you all. Happy holidays. See you soon.